Devotee, 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 devotee. Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt, and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be a commentary because I saw something that reminded me of Adult Swim's abusive relationship with anime. So a couple days ago, I saw on social media, I don't remember exactly where, but someone said, hey, it looks like Adult Swim is making an isekai anime. And I'm like, Adult Swim's making an isekai anime? What? And then I was like, oh, okay. Adult Swim's trolling their anime fans again. And it's basically Gemissetto. Gemissetto is coming out this weekend. It came out this past weekend. And Gemissetto, it's season 2, Machu Picchu. Gemissetto Machu Picchu. And the first season was a spoof on sports and relic hunting anime. And this season is a spoof on isekai anime. And it's just another example of Adult Swim trolling their anime fans and totally resenting the fact that they have to have anime fans and that they have to show anime and that they really don't want to. It wasn't always this way. So back in the day, Cartoon Network had a problem. And the problem was the 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. time slot. What are you going to put in there for adults to watch? Obviously, they're not counting on a whole lot of people being up at that time because, honestly, at that time of night, you're either an insomniac, you're drunk, or you're a stoner, or your combination thereof. So they're trying to figure out what kind of programming to put up there because the rest of the day really is for kids programming. So they didn't really know what to do. So they were just kind of just throwing whatever up against the wall and seeing what would stick. And then came across William Street Productions. And they're the guys who would later become Adult Swim, in case you didn't know. So William Street, what they did basically was they primarily bought a lot of licensing to be able to show stuff. So they went out there and they found oddball animation and weird animation, esoteric stuff that was just really not for kids, but for adults to be like, oh wow, if you're a stoner or if you're just up at night, you're just like, I need something weird to put me to sleep, or whatever, or you're just drunk. So they were looking for things like that, and they bought the licensings to show those things, and they did that, and they provided, I would say, at the beginning, probably a quarter of the time slots, the 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. time slots, usually later in the morning, like between 3 and 5 a.m. So that's primarily what they did. But they also had, and what they really wanted to do was to create their own content and put it out there. But they knew that they had to make money first. So that's why they did the licensing. Now, when they went after the licensing for shows that they wanted to put on there, it's stuff that they wanted to put on there. So this wasn't like, I'm forced to put this thing onto television so I can make money so I can do this other thing. They really actually stood behind what they were putting out there. So part of their catalog of licensing was anime. So they had some anime in their catalog. Not a lot, but some. And basically what they did was they said, what do we remember from our childhoods, the animation that we really liked, and we'll put it out there, kind of a nostalgia factor. So they started doing anime like Star Blazers, things like that. So it's a lot of older anime that went on early in the morning. And again, it's not like they did a whole bunch of anime. We're talking like maybe 1 or 2 titles every few months, right? So it's not like it was the animation block or anything like that, or the anime block, action block. So it was just something that they really liked. And as you know, Toonami was created in 1997 and was more of a daytime show for kids, showing things like Pokemon and stuff like that. And again, to address the late night issue of programming, they wanted to bring in anime because that was more adult, and they figured that they could get a certain demographic to watch more, and it's a weekend night, so it's something that they could be competitive with. Well, if you know Toonami, and no, I'm not going to get into the history of Toonami because I need 3 hours and a flow chart. But if you know Toonami, you know that they've been doing the programming bit for their entire existence, off and on, at night. You know, sometimes they would do an hour-long blocks during the week, or they'd have the Saturday night an anime block, or they have a Friday and Saturday night anime block, or whatever iteration. Sometimes they just disappear completely. So one of the times that Toonami disappeared, and was largely due because the sister network at WB, WB said, we don't want you competing with our WB Kids program. So there was a void there for a while. And Adult Swim, William Streets became Adult Swim in 2001. And when they did that, they had basically the 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. time slot, Sunday through Thursday. And then for a while, and then when Toonami dropped off the face of the planet in 2001, I think it was 2001, Adult Swim said, hey, if we kind of restructure what we do, we can provide an action block on Saturday evenings, what Toonami used to do, and then we'll concentrate all of our stuff in a bigger block of time on Sunday nights. So they created the anime action, the Adult Swim action block, which was mostly anime, on Saturday nights, 11 to about 4:35 a.m. And then they did Adult Swim comedy stuff starting at 11 a.m. going to about, I think they went from 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. and would later go on to 3 a.m. I think. I'm sorry, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., then later on to 3 a.m. And Adult Swim at that time, that was called the pool years. That's when their bumps were basically people eating hot dogs at a pool, or older people inside the pool with the kids outside the pool. It's the whole motif going on. So in this short amount of time between about 2001 to about 2000, almost 2004, Adult Swim had both blocks on Saturday and Sunday nights, and it worked really well. And the Saturday night action block worked extremely well. So what happened was that Toonami came back, and the reason for that was that the Cartoon Network got to go ahead from WB to bring the Toonami back, and because they saw how well Adult Swim was doing with it, they kicked Adult Swim out of it, and Adult Swim was kind of okay with it a little bit because they had enough money to do what they were going to do next. So in about 2004, they had basically the money to do more original programming. And for a while there, from when they were doing the pool years to probably around 2010, I guess, Adult Swim was really kind of cool. They had interesting programming. Some of it was stoner animation, some of it was creative animation, some of it was really good licensing choices. It was their heyday. And then in 2012 or 2008, Toonami went away. In 2012, Adult Swim decided, hey, they kind of took a look back on things, and they remembered the pool years, where they had the anime block and they had their comedy block, and how well they did with both of them. Remembered how that they were noticing that there was some transfer of anime fans to becoming fans of their programming. And what they were banking on, what they decided to do, was to take over Toonami. So as you know, in 2012, they took over Toonami for the Saturday night block. And the idea was to create an audience from anime fans to come over to their original programming. The problem is, of course, as we now know, is that unfortunately Adult Swim has pretty much become a repository for stoner animation, and it's not very funny anymore. It's kind of like the same tropes over and over and over and over again. Animation's not that great. There's some gems here and there that you get, no pun intended on Gemosetto. that you can find out there that periodically they'll put out there and be really good. But for the most part, it's just stoner stuff. And anime fans don't necessarily translate to stoner animation. They've always resented, since about, I would say 2014, they started really resenting anime. And they started poking fun at people who watched anime on their message boards and on their bumps and things like that. And then it got to the point when they were just actually commissioning, like Gemma Seto, actual animation to make fun of the part of their business that gives them the money to be able to make the stuff that is making fun of their moneymaker. So that's where they're at now. Laugh at the fact that they spent money to make another 6-episode series to make fun of anime. Okay, thank you for that diatribe disguised as a commentary. Thank you for putting up with that. It's just something that I wanted to get off my chest. I hope you like this video. If you did like this video, please like it. If you like what I do here, please subscribe. Please come by and watch us at Geek Archaeology every Saturday night starting at 8 o'clock, where we go to a deep dive onto a particular anime movie that we watched that week, and then going on to the weekly anime news called The Weekly Dig at 9 o'clock. So meet us over at Geek Archaeology. We have to chat up. It's always fun to see people in there say hi and get their 2 cents. So please stop on by. Remember, COVID-19 is still a thing, very much a thing. And so wear your mask, social distance, and because I want to see you guys eventually face to face. Wouldn't that be cool? For those of you who voted in the election, good on you, whoever you voted for, whatever you voted for. I'm just glad that if you went out to vote, you went out and voted. This was an important election to express yourself in. So for all of you who voted, doesn't matter who you voted for or what you voted for, good on you. On that, I will see you guys next week.